At the age of about 12 or 13 years old, that's when I started looking for a sense of belonging, a sense of acceptance, and started looking for that happiness and just that sense of comfort. And I looked for the friends and the family and everything else and been disappointed by that, and started using drugs to try to feel better about myself, to fill that void, and just to feel that sense of belonging. And it's been a long battle.
I was 13 years old when I first started using. It's really just, I started pretty much because everybody else was doing it. I was very uncomfortable in my skin and with who I was. I was trying to fit in with the crowd, and it just spiraled from there.
There's a lot of pain and a lot of heartache, a lot of resentments, a lot of issues that when I first started using the drugs, I wouldn't have known about. So it quickly progressed into serious problems, whether it was legal or family issues or just troubles within myself. A lot of anger and resentments.
I was very desperate. I knew that if I didn't change, I would either die or I would be going to prison. And that wasn't anything that I was prepared to do. I still love my children very much, and I want to be a mother to them and an example to them. And I think that's really what kind of pulled me out of that darkness that I was in.
I think when I finally realized enough was after years and years of addiction and being in and out of prison and the problems with my family and seeing what it had done with my kids and everything else and the effect that it was having on them. I started to realize that my kids were going through the same things I went through as a kid, and they're starting to deal with the same issues that I had to deal with, and I don't want that for them, and I don't want my kids to ever feel like I felt growing up. And I think, when I had enough is when my 8-year-old started asking me, Daddy, when are you going to get things right?
The main reason that I came to Pierce Ministries is because I knew that I needed a long-term Christian rehab. There was something that was pulling me here. Honestly, I didn't even look into any other places. It was just like a piece about knowing that this is where I needed to be. And I knew that I couldn't change myself. I knew only the Lord could change me. And so there wasn't any other way for me to go but to come here.
When we think of the word transformation, it is about taking something from its original state and making it into something that it wasn't before. Well, that's exactly what God does with us. And it's exactly what God does as He transforms men and women who in their original state were bent towards seeking out something for a coping mechanism, something to help them belong, something to show them that they mattered, something to help them to believe that there was something else. There was something else that they were looking for, but they didn't know how to find it. So in the transformation that occurs, God takes those old, broken down, feeling worthless, loss of identity, loss of self-esteem, loss of self-respect, selfish people, and He turns them into His sons and daughters. So as we get the opportunity on a daily basis to watch lives as they are transformed, as they are renewed, as they are raised up into something else, we no longer see addicts, but what we see are people who are striving towards becoming all that they can be, who are learning how to be parts of their families. Families are being restored through that process, who are learning how to one day be able to migrate back into society and hold down a job, no longer be filling up the prisons and the medical systems, no longer relying on government support, no longer focusing on how to get from day to day to day to day for the next thing to try to make them feel good, because they know their identity now. And in their identity, they know they don't have to seek for anything else, but just allowing God to just keep transforming them and making them more and more into their image. They're no longer lost on focusing on the hurts of the past, the wounds that have defined them, but now they walk into, as that verse says, that marvelous light. And once we have walked into that marvelous light, we're able to throw off the old dead stuff and walk in freshness of life. It's an honor at Pierce Ministries to be able to work with men and women and families who are seeking that transformation and restoration. We want you to come alongside of us. We want you to be a part of this, in whatever means you feel like you would like to be a part of it. If you're the one that's seeking help, you don't have to be lost in that darkness anymore. We're holding out our hands, and we're asking you to take our hands and allow us to lead you into that light. Once you walk in that marvelous light, you'll never want to go back to that old life again. So come alongside of us. Come alongside the men and women who are seeking this. Be bold enough, if you need it yourself, be bold enough to step out into that marvelous light. Your life will never, ever be the same, because everything will change once you walk into that transformed life.
Since coming to Pierce Ministries, I've learned how to deal with my emotions a lot better. I've learned how to channel my issues in a positive way. I think since I've been here, I've learned how to have healthy relationships with people and communicate in a better way.
Since I have been at Pierce Ministries, my whole demeanor has changed. I was very angry when I got here. I did not want to be here. I wanted to get this program over with. I wanted to get back home. But now I'm happy to be here. I'm learning so much about myself. That guilt and that shame is starting to go away. And I'm finding my identity, which is in Christ. Living in a house with other women is very difficult sometimes, but it's beautiful too, because you get to see the transformations that's not only going on inside of me, but inside of all the other girls, and where God is bringing them. You know, we love each other. We're there for each other. We pray for each other, and it's good to have those sister connections, because most of us never had that. So I'm actually very blessed to be with them.
I think the greatest transformation that's occurred in my life through the last few months of being here is to see the growth within myself, to see the positive energy, to see the support around me, and just the healthy people, the healthy atmosphere, waking up day to day with a purpose and doing constructive things within the day. I think that's the best thing that I can see day to day, happening in my life right now, and actually having a healthy relationship with my kids. I can hear the joy in their voices when I talk to them. I can see that the relationship's improving, and they're glad to see that their dad's on his way to being a better person.
I think the future is very bright for me. I hope to one day be with my children again, to move forward in where I'm going with Christ and my relationship with Him. I'm hoping to inspire other people to reach out and get help.
As you start to walk into that transformed life, you'll see a new day coming. And you are going to see the sunrise come up over your life in a way that you've never seen before. And you walk from death into life. That's what your transformation will look like. If you're seeking help, it's what the transformation will look like of the men and women who are currently seeking it.
I think there's hope for anybody and everybody that's dealing with any kind of situations, whether it's addiction or any kind of bondage or sin or anything like that. I think there's hope for anybody and everybody.